Hello, Nate Streeter, StreetSmart Marketing. Have a question that came in here. Someone offered me $300,000 for my business. Should I take it? I I guess I should probably start by saying I am definitely not a business broker, nor am I a CPA. So there's a reason why business brokers make tens of thousands of dollars per transaction, and it's primarily because these kinds of transactions are very complicated. But what I'll do today is I will walk you through. I've witnessed lots of unsuccessful transactions as well as successful transactions over the years, and I've learned a lot about buying and selling businesses. And so I'll share some of what I've learned, and hopefully that'll help you answer this question. The first thing I would say is always know your number. It is really great if you can have an idea of what you'd be willing to walk away, if any. I mean, sometimes it might be zero. I certainly have worked with lots of entrepreneurs that they just love their business and they would never walk away from it unless they absolutely had to. Which leads me to the second point, which is always plan for change. Sometimes, I hate to say this, but spouses get sick, or you have the necessity to move to another part of the country, or I've seen a million different things, or you yourself get really sick. So the truth is, you really always need to kind of plan for the possibility that you might have to walk away from your business, and what would that look like? And hopefully part of that, you guys know I'm big on working on your business and not in it, and so that makes it much more saleable, and we'll go through a few of those things. Let's get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty though. You probably have heard people talk about net profit plus inventory as a way to value your business. And some businesses, they'll say, are worth twice annual net profit, or 5 times, or 10 times. It seems like they throw all kinds of different numbers around. And the truth is that businesses are just like anything else. Your business is worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And depending on the kind of business you're in, that can be much more or less than what that looks like. And so if you're in a technology business, what you have as far as intellectual property might be worth considerably more than the profit that you have. So your business might be worth, quite frankly, infinitely more than your net profit. Certainly you've seen companies where they aren't showing any profit and they sell for $20 million to Google or something like that. So, but that's because they have intellectual property. If you are a local business and you are in your business, that might be a good way to value it. Although my question for you is, are you really showing a profit? So in some cases, I sit down and look at these things with people, and the truth of the matter is that they're looking at part of their profit. Really, it's their salary, and they're not factoring in the fact that they're putting in time and energy. So you have to usually take that out. So if you're showing an $80,000 profit pre-taxes, and you figure that an executive doing what you're doing needs to make, you'd have to pay them $60,000. Well, then really you're only showing a net profit of $20,000, and so you have to factor that in. So those things are important. This also brings me to the point that you really always need to keep an eye on your balance sheet, because quite frankly, your P&L, I'm not saying it's not important, but your balance sheet, particularly in these situations, are what really matters. Who do you owe and what do you own? And at the end of the day, are you positive or negative? And so, if your liabilities are high and you really don't own anything, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to ever get out from under your business. And I've seen that where great opportunities have come up and people aren't able to take advantage of it because they're so far backwards on their balance sheet. So, I always believe that you should always be keeping an eye on your balance sheet anyway, but this is another great reason. If you ever need to or want to step away from your business, man, your balance sheet matters so much. There's a few other things you should always keep in mind. What is your passion level for the business that you're in? So if someone offers you $300,000 for your business, how are you feeling about it? Are you excited anymore? Is this something that you want to continue to do? How do you feel about your business? What's your passion level now compared to a year ago, compared to 5 years ago, compared to, for some of you 10 years ago or 30 years ago? So sometimes that can be a good indication. And sometimes that means that you're getting more passionate about another side business or just another venture in your life. I mean, certainly I've seen people go into ministry or other things too. So, which again goes into this point. Where are you at in your life? Are you ready to? I mean, we all know entrepreneurs never really retire, and usually what I see when they retire is they just find something else that they're going to get passionate about, and sometimes that's another business, sometimes that's ministry, sometimes that's golf. I mean, it can be anything, but they're going to be passionate about something. That's the kind of person they are. But where are you at in life? Are you, and to always be evaluating these things is really key. What I've also seen, a big mistake that I've seen when people are thinking, or they've been offered a certain amount for their business, or they're thinking about selling their business, it's very much like poker. You need to not just be conscious of your hand, where you're at, but also the potential buyer. So sometimes the potential buyer has far more to gain from buying than you do from selling, or vice versa. Perhaps maybe there's very little that they have. Or you're in an industry where there's no competitors that would really, gain anything from purchasing you. Or, I've certainly seen a lot of people who come out of corporate America and they're well into six figures and they're sick of the corporate jungle and that whole, killer hours, etc. And they're thinking, this is ironic, but they think that by getting in and becoming an entrepreneur, they're going to get away from that. And they come with a chunk of money. But again, you need to assess that. If that's your potential buyer, what they are looking for is very different than what one of your competitors might be when they're thinking about purchasing you. Certainly when I've looked at some of the competitors, they could care less about your equipment or your inventory or any of those kinds of assets. In fact, the very first thing they're going to do if they have to buy them, sometimes they'll try to negotiate where they don't, but if they have to, they're just going to fire sale them. Well, of course, in that scenario, they're going to offer you far less because they don't really view those as something of value. Whereas if you're selling to a corporate America guy who's got $300,000 cash that he's squirreled away over the last 10 years so he can start his own business. Well, he needs all that equipment if he's going to run your business. So his thinking about it's going to be very different. So, not to complicate this any, but you need to just be cognizant of assessing the potential buyer's gain. And that helps you understand what your business might be worth as well. So I guess I really didn't answer your question, partly because what I'm showing you is it's very complicated. But hopefully this gives you some different concepts and ideas that will help you. And this is a lot of what I've learned dealing with business brokers over the years and witnessing different business transactions. So hopefully that can help. We're always here to help. Contact us if you need us to help. Oh, this isn't quite right here. Contact us if you need any help at all with this, and we can certainly give you advice.